Hello, my name is Verdeluz from Divine Timing Coaching, and welcome to this brief lecture on the Aries ingress chart in astrology. That's the spring equinox chart. In this video, I want to share with you why this chart really supports a lot of movement and restlessness going on in the world, but it's specifically around the concept of real estate buying, real estate selling. A lot of people are in that conversation right now. I want to show you why this is happening astrologically, how it will continue to increase as the spring and year unfolds. A lot of people getting in the conversation about buying houses and consolidating their resources, and also the potential that relocation astrology or astrocartography can have in your life for being able to navigate and negotiate buying a house, selling a house, or any kind of real estate, whether it's where you're from, if it's the US, the UK, or offshore investments. This tool, AstroLocality, one of the most fascinating tools. It's been my niche for 15 years. And below the video, I'll have a link to a much longer video about the topic of astrolocality, 90-minute presentation I did back in November this year. So let's look at the chart. You can see it right here. This is Aries ingress, the day of the spring equinox. And this is over London, but it doesn't really matter so much. We're looking more at the fact that we have this really powerful position of Mars and the moon with the north node. So when we're looking at, before I jump in, when we're looking at a spring equinox chart, why is it so important? It's because it shows you a map of the year, a map in terms of the main cycles that we are collectively going to all experience, because the astrological new year is the spring equinox. So we just began the year. And so that chart astrologers have been using forever to help us decide in divine what is going to happen out there in the world, what we're going to experience collectively. And when we see the presence of planets on the North Node is a symbol of collective destiny and evolution, where we're growing into, where the energy is increasing. And when you see Mars there, there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of restlessness, there's a lot of activity. Now, this activity could have to do with a rupture, a shaking up, which Mars can do, a quaking to the moon archetype. And what is the moon about? Family, home, where we live, our domestic life. And Mars and the moon are here together on the north node. So we're looking at the potential of a lot of movement going on here, a lot of restlessness, and a desire, the moon, Mars, for emotional kinds of experiences that feel more comforting and secure. Of course, the moon in this chart is in Gemini, so that's a very restless sign. So we might be feeling the call to move, but this could also be the call to travel. And maybe we're thinking about traveling before we want to make a major purchase. Maybe we're thinking about traveling to another country to discover, hey, is this a place I should invest in? I'm on and off a digital nomad myself. I will be again most of 2021. I was just in Egypt as well, and I'll be sharing videos about some of my astrolocality in Egypt and my experiences there. But one of the things that all digital nomads, location independent entrepreneurs, even world schooling parents talk about is just some of the benefits of living abroad. Especially coming from a Western culture or a place like Australia, the U.S., uh, Canada, is that you're talking about a lot of the time an increase of quality of life and a removal of huge amounts of cost of living, including a lot of taxation and potentials for families to world school, to create a community around the world that their kids can grow up in, learning other languages, learning a lot of things about philosophy and culture that they never would have got exposed to in the States or maybe in parts of UK or Canada where they're coming from. And so there's a lot of potential right now. And I'm mentioning this because the North Node is in Gemini, the South Node is in Sagittarius, these are very travel-oriented signs, and they're the signs where the eclipses are occurring. And those next series of eclipses are coming in pretty soon. There'll be May 26th and June 10th. We call that the eclipse window. And this is when I would expect a lot of transition, a lot of pivot for many of us, especially those who have planets in the mutable signs of Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. This is where the eclipses will be. They'll be in Gemini and Sag, and so then the Virgo Pisces will be squaring those eclipses. So you will be hit by these eclipses when you have planets in those signs, and and so these are mutable signs. They change a lot, right? And they get their thrills and their excitement and their growth. And the best qualities of the mutable signs is to be teachers and evolvers and to take the element that they're in and really distribute and demonstrate and teach it and share it in a new and exciting way. And so that's why travel comes up a lot with the Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces signs. Um, and so collectively, we're all in this, of course, with COVID, there's a lot of questions around this and where can Americans go, for instance. Um, there's different kinds of digital nomad passport visas now happening in places like Portugal, and they're talking about implementing this in Bali, Indonesia. Indonesia is going to open again in June of this year or July. Um, and there's a lot of countries that are realizing, um, we're losing money from tourism. We want people to come here. We want people to come here more long term. And so they're creating visa programs. So this is really exciting for a lot of us who are digital nomads. We have a little bit more flexibility. And even for parents who want to work online, but we also want communities abroad or where we live, even if we're at home. And even if you're not thinking of leaving the country that you're from, you may be thinking of moving, of traveling, of relocating within the country or the state, and which places will be the best to support that? Well, that's where relocation astrology comes in. And again, we think that this is coming more and more this year because, um, again, all of the Gemini Sagittarius I mentioned, the Mars on the North Node. Um, there is also Mars in this Aries ingress chart that is squaring Mercury. And again, that gets us thinking, Mercury, a lot about Mercury and Pisces here, the ideal situation. What would we like to dream into reality, right? Where is our perfect place? I call them our power places through relocation astrology. Where is our location where we can thrive in our business, with finance, finding community that will really support us and we can support it, where creativity can really grow, our spiritual growth can happen, and we can feel like we're flowing. And so when we look at, again, these charts, there is a sense, there's a lot of movement going on. If we look forward to the full moon in April, we can sense as well, here is the full moon, April 26th. And what you're going to see here is, here is the sun approaching Uranus. And just days before this, the week of the 21st, Venus and Mercury has hit Uranus in Taurus. And that means all of these planets are squaring Saturn. The big archetypal complex in the sky in 2021 is Saturn square Uranus. Saturn represents, the conservative, the way that feels more secure for us, more stable. And that's being challenged by Uranus, which wants a breakthrough, a revolution, a rebellion, something that's more authentic and represents our own individuality and originality coming through. There's a tension between those two planets right now. And part of that tension is around like governmental controls, right? Where can we go? When can we go there? But it's also about us finding our sense of personal freedom and what that really means to us. That's going to be a huge theme with this full moon because of Mercury, Venus, and the Sun all touching this full moon with Uranus. And so the idea of finding our unique selves, relationships that really support independence and freedom, but also a sense of paradigm shift, something new, something exciting, right? Uranus wants all of that. But one of the things to consider is that when Uranus is in Taurus, as it is for the next 5 to 6 years here, there's volatility with the markets, with currencies, and with home. Taurus rules all of these things. And that's why we see cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin hitting, 60 grand um, in the last couple months. Why we see all these alternative coins in cryptocurrency now starting to explode. And we think that that's going to continue. How does that affect the idea of where we're going to live abroad? Questions around taxation come up if we're thinking about doing that. Um, Retroactive taxation. All of these things may come up. There's like disruptions in terms of how we work with money and our values. And not just money and values, but of course, land. Taurus is an earth sign. And so a lot of us are going to be more and more in this conversation, and we're going to be looking towards trying to be strategic with how, where, when, even with whom we might be purchasing or co-purchasing property and land with. And that's where, if we look at locational astrology, we have so much insight here. Because locational astrology, I'll just show you some of these maps that we look at. This is just my own map, but what we look at is the sense of where the planets are around the world in their strongest influences for us. And remember, a planet is an archetype, it's an energy. And so when we're looking at home, right, when we're looking at a sense of nurturing and emotional security, we're looking at a planet like the moon, right? Where we're looking at love and relationships and values and what's important to us, even feminine energy. We talk about Venus, right? Even some of our creative energies, Venus. And so whatever we are seeking in our life, whatever kinds of relationships we want, career path to succeed, financial growth that we want, clientele, spiritual growth, there are better and worse places to support that. That is the whole premise of relocation astrology. And what I've been teaching about this for about 15 years now. And when I've moved around the world as well, a lot of the strategies I've used for myself, for my clients, are to use relocation astrology. Some people call it astrocartography. Astrocartography is one part of relocation astrology. But to use this more strategically, to plan where to go and to go when. Because we also have something called cyclocartography, which is telling us the cycles over certain regions of the planet at certain times. So this is a huge tip on when to go where, when to say, you know what, it's time to go make that investment abroad, or maybe it's time to buy the house, not 3 months from now, maybe it's going to be 9 months from now, right? For you personally, it's different than for your neighbor, right? Or for your best friend, or even for your lover. So if we're going to buy land, if we're going to make our most serious investment in our life or a piece of real estate, we really want to be strategic with how we do that, especially in such a volatile time, and to know when is the best time to do that. So we can also elect a chart, the best time to invest or to sell the property. We can see where in the world to do that, where in the country to do that, multiple places that could be supportive for growth. If you want to live in the place, or if you want to maybe invest in the place and then possibly sell again. And again, when to do the investment there, right? So there's when in our life is best to do that, when during this year is best to do that, and when for that location is going to be best to do that. So there's a lot of factors when we're seeking to find the right place to live, to find relationships, to find career and business success, and to make an investment that feels really secure for us. And so my sense is that the astrology is asking a lot of us to get serious about real estate, because as we look forward to the end of the year, we're looking at the next series of eclipses starting to come in, and they're going to start to change signs. And the eclipses, again, it's a collective energy we all start to feel, we all start to move into. And the North Node, the eclipses that will come at the end of the year, November, the North Node is going to move into Taurus. the eclipse will be in Taurus. Um, and so Taurus is the sign of land, real estate, things, possessions. But we're all going to start to get really serious about, you know, building our little villages, eco villages, communities, agriculture, growing food on our land. Where can we do that? And so, again, finding the places that work for you, right? That's what relocation astrology is about. It could be right near a big city, perhaps in the US. It could be not in the country at all, right? But it's particular to you. And that's what we want to find with the charts. And so we have a number of influences we work with. We work with these lines called local space lines, which are emerging out of the place we're born. They're actually the directions of the planets. So if we look and we point to Jupiter, or we pointed to Saturn or the moon when we were born, we can follow that energy around the circumference of the earth. And that's where we'll see that that part of our soul is really getting activated, getting triggered, getting woken up and highlighted in that part of the world. And then we have to ask, is that what I'm calling in my life? Do I want more of that? Because that might be a place that will support that. That's a different kind of energetic influence than the astrocartography lines, which you see here, like this line here, the white one here is Jupiter rising, Jupiter on the ascendant. The ascendant is one of the four angles. So in astrolocality, the four angles are very important because the ascendant is how we emanate or radiate our energy out to the world. It's what people see from us. It's our personality. Whereas when you look at the descendant, that's more of the relationships in our life, what we attract, the collaborations, the love relationships, the business relationships. Very important where we live, right? Depending on what kinds of relationships we want in our life. If we want more secure, stable relationships, if we want more exciting, wild, artistic relationships, there's different planets that support those. Now, when you look at the home, you're looking at what's called the IC, the roots of the chart. So any planet that's on the IC is going to affect your home situation, the people you live with, the land you might buy. That's a huge part of what I'm looking at when people are looking at real estate. What planets might be there? What signs of the zodiac might be there? How does your chart change when you live in that location? Right? And opposite that would be the angle of career. And so what planets are up on the angle of career tells us about our career path, what's influencing our vocation. So AstroLocality, one of my favorite tools in the study of and the practice of astrology. We can go all the way around the world at any time, permanently and for a cycle coming in for the next few years, and see what kinds of energies will be most supportive if we do want to buy land, invest in real estate, or just travel, go research. Maybe this next year I want to go check out a couple places I might want to invest in, right? This is a great tool to understand that. So I hope it's inspiring for you, and that this spring that a lot of new energies are emerging for you, that you're excited. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to teach. My name is Verdelus. Stay tuned for more videos on relocation astrology, specific planets, how they work in different parts of the world, love lines, lines of transformation, death and rebirth, lines of success and growth and abundance. But today we're talking about real estate, and we'll check in with you more. Subscribe for more videos. Look forward to talking to you more soon. All the best.